Hello, and welcome back to Mass Effect Mirage. I almost said a completely different TV show. I do this all the time, actually. But yeah, welcome back to Mass Effect Mirage, our D&D 5e actual play based on the Mass Effect universe. I will then pass it on over to Serenity to start over our introductions.
Hello, I'm Serenity. I will be your DM for today. I'm your little space game master. She, Faye, any pronouns. I'll be playing everyone that the others aren't. Let's popcorn this over to Sparrow.
Hi, hello. I am a Burb on the interweb, aBlackSparrow from the Feywild and Out team. I'm playing Kraxar Worq, a lovely um, Krogan battle master. Pronouns are he, him. And I believe I'm tossing it to Maz.
Hi, I'm Maz. My pronouns are she, they. I shared that with Adrana Sargas, who is the wonderful, tall, amazing sniper, infiltrator, Turian, who just has a pretty little gun. I'm going to toss to Daryl.
Oh, my mic isn't muted. Hello, I'm Daryl. No, it's going smooth. Hello, I'm Daryl. I use he him pronouns as well as my character Darius Okar, your infiltrator pistolero, and he is just having a good time about the current events. Tossing it over to Jade.
Nice. Hi, y'all. I'm Jade Valkyrie. I'm one of the founders here of Feywild and Out. I use she, they pronouns, and I'm playing Sparrows, who you'd think I would check by now to just double, triple check her pronouns. But yeah, she, they, any, to be honest with you. I only have so much in the nameplate, so I went with she, they first. But we are not doing our giveaway this week, but next week we'll be having more information about that as well as on our social media. So make sure that you're following us on Twitter, Blue Sky, mostly those two for now, but stay tuned for more. But what you can do in the meantime is you can use our exclamation point tip to tip our lovely cast here at Feywild and Out. We do have a link, so if you use the command, then that will pop up there. Next, we got our content warnings, and I'll give that over to Sparrow for that.
Yeah, so Mass Effect Mirage is set in a science fiction setting based on an MA rated video game. Please enjoy it responsibly. Content warnings for this episode may include violence, weapons, war, organized crime / gang activity, sexual content, genocide in context of the Reapers with organic / talks of the Genophage, drinking / drug use, political espionage / corruption, racism, and rodents. We encourage you to step away if at any point the content becomes not enjoyable for you. We are keeping each other safe at the table, and we want you to enjoy safely also. Please use exclamation point CW in our chat, as you will see Jade has done, to review our content warnings at any time.
All right. Well, with all that stuff out of the way, what happened last time? Last time on Mass Effect Mirage, the team of ciphers had helped someone get away. Her name is Mira. She was cornered by a group of people who seemed to work with or around the Blue Suns, from what they could see, escaping fairly successfully out of the afterlife bar in Omega. They all ran to the docks to get onto the Mirage, their ship. They were suddenly cornered by a large group of people who, instead of trying to chase them into their ship, cornered them as so they couldn't get back in. The team did not like the vibes and immediately tried to see what was going on. With no clear answer in hand, Nyxarius decided to take along the saddest looking one and put him over her shoulder and took him on board. Darius found out there was an AI that lives on the ship, and that relationship's a little rocky. Mira is being well cared for. Adrana and Nyxarius are now Darius questioning the hostage. It's hostage, but like with a nicer font. Imagine, uh, hostage. And digging into his mind, while Worq is not having a great time, and takes a comm that he had taken off of one of the Blue Suns to the communications officer, which they just found out existed, named Menezia. Uh, it looks like pretty much immediately from where we started. From the information found from Nixeris and the gang, and from Worq as well, there is a group called the Insurgents that seems to be doing something. Worq.
Mm-hmm.
You are standing there with the communications officer who looks terrified of the ringing sounds through the ship. There are siren alarms, and there's also the voice of a very deep and gruff person that called themselves the Insurgents.
Yeah, so Work absolutely was about to say, like,
and make sure you scrub that stupid thing. We don't need any.
And then it goes off. And if there was like a Krogan expression for a face palm, he's giving it. It's total, like,
Buddy,
I can't
I gotta
believe.
tell you this. You have a face and a hand. I think it's the same expression.
I know, but he's not gonna do it. He's giving her the facial expression of a face palm. Because it's way more disappointing when someone looks at you and you go, "Oh, that's a face palm," but they're not even gonna do it, huh?
Do you want to roll
Ooh.
an insight real quick, or I will allow you to use if you have electronics?
Nah, insight. I'll roll insight because I'm feeling good about it, and I was right to do so because that's an 18.
Sweet. Based off of what you see in the roll, the computer, when you were running through things, she looked fairly sure of herself. There were a few steps there. She looks completely flabbergasted that something got past. Like, she had scrubbed. She had put in the work, but it got past.
See, now if I had done an actual face palm, then she would have had visual evidence that I was disappointed. I can just be like, that's just a Krogan's face. You don't know. So then Worq is just going to go ahead and give the old...
You shut that damn thing off.
You see Menezia begin to type viciously, like she is trying to get through this. But then you hear the voice on the other end go, "Sure, I'll take care of it for you." And after a moment, the alarms stop, but you'd still see that the underlining of the ship is more red and warning tone, like how the alarms, when they were set off, the light turned red around the ship. It still shows red, but there's no sound anymore.
Good to note. Worq is like trying to restrain himself from just like smashing this comm device that's like that has caused the wreaked said havoc, or wrought said havoc. But he obviously takes in the data that like this person, this is now a two-way situation. This person actively responded to him. So he's going to look at Menezia, and he's going to point down at what she's doing and kind of do like a keep it going thing. And then he's going to look for wherever he saw like the ship's like physical manifestation of the AI last.
Menezia follows your orders. She's gonna do everything in her power. The last you saw was along the black lines around the outside of the ship. So you know if she were to pop up, it would be somewhere around there. So it could be pretty nearby.
Yeah. Yep, that's where he's headed.
Okay. I was gonna say around every room there's a black lining. So essentially, except for in the bathrooms and in the barracks, there is a space where Quill can pop up. So you don't even have to leave the room.
You.
And you could just back up a little.
Noted. Cool. So thank you for reminding me, by the way. So Worq's looking for Quill. And as soon as he gets to where he's just gonna be like,
Will, are you on this?
You hear static.
mm.
And then you see the manifestation of Quill pop up, but it's flickering and it's not staying on one form like normal. It seems to be shifting. The only thing that's consistent is the outfit itself, and it will kind of just adjust size. But the physical representation seems like a blank circular head. But that's really the only thing. Like, there's something broken. And you hear, I am here.
Well, shit.
Worq's heading for the cockpit.
Okay. It's been a moment since you had responded. So as you begin to walk, you do hear, "What? You tired of talking to me already?" And it's sounding through the ship.
No response from Worq.
Okay. Everyone can hear the original voice of saying the insurgents. And now I can take care of that for you. And now someone's ignoring this voice. It continues to goad. Just small things of, come on, let's talk. And just small little punches, but nothing too specific. You do make it to the cockpit, and you see Shiva.
Shiva, can we turn this ship around? I have a deep-seated need to destroy some blue suns.
And he's not very loud because he knows that this person's listening in, but like it's very calm, very direct for a Krogan, that is.
She will turn to look at you to ask a question, but after hearing your tone and how direct and how calm you look, she will just nod, turn back around, and without question, will do as you command, especially since the ship is acting abnormally. You then see the wheel that she uses to direct jerks back into place. Can't keep ignoring me forever.
You said that we can all hear this, correct?
You can. And then you felt the ship turn and then jerk.
I feel like as soon as the alarms went off, Darius immediately dropped the necklace he was looking at and started running upstairs anyway. So like during this entire time, he's been running from the brig all the way back up to the to the cockpit as well.
Okay. What are Nyxeris and Adrana doing?
They were in the middle of.
Yeah, I think that if at least how I remembered, maybe I think Nyxeris was doing her last question simultaneously. If we still, unless it would, okay. So would I have had a chance to already ask that final question, or would I have been interrupted before I got the opportunity to?
It's like simultaneously the answer occurred, so you got it, and it was announced. So you can still be in the trance if you so wish, or you can be knocked out of it because you did get your answer. It's up to you.
Yeah, I think Nyx had one more, but it's literally not as important as whatever was going on, especially after like hearing that over the comms. So she just will kind of like withdraw her hand from the guy's head. Turn. Stay put. Not that you really have a choice, but you know, you understand what I mean. Adrana, we should probably see what that is.
They kind of nod to agree, and they like finish up the recording and follow you.
And also, I think that during the recording, Nyxeris would have been basically regurgitating or like describing all the stuff that she was saying. That way, it's not like here's everything that was only in my head, but just kind of describing as we're going along about what she's saying. So Adrana would know what Nyxeris saw, and then if Worq and Darius were ever tuning in, I think Darius probably overheard some of it, and then Worq, whenever he has a chance, they'll know that information that Nyxeris got from last session.
Very perfect, fairly easy. The only thing that Jonas does is scramble to grab the dropped necklace. Do you stop him?
No, if anything, I think Nyxeris kind of like kicks it because she still needs to go, but will kind of kick it on over closer, knowing what it is.
Okay. That's the only thing he does. He'll go back and he'll sit where he was. The only difference that you see from him from his scared demeanor before is that there were tears streaming down his cheeks. Adrana, you probably would have saw that starting right around when the paper was initially pushed towards him, saying that he would be helping his family. And then it did get a little worse when Nyxeris was thinking back on the memory of the necklace. But he will sit. He will not do anything. He will not leave. He will not try to leave. As you two run. You all are hearing the goading and the communication. You heard the alarms turn off after this voice, which Nyxeris sounds insanely familiar. This will be
familiar.
It sounds familiar. You just heard it.
Oh, okay, I thought you meant like familiar. I was like, what? Did I miss something? No, that's Jade the player not picking up on what you meant. Gotcha.
Wait, my backstory right now?
I was like, really? The time like thing? We have things
to do. No, they do sound familiar, but from recent mind probing. But you hear them agree to turn off the alarm, and then now they're just fishing for an answer that they don't seem to be receiving. You all do have to run through the communication area, as communication stays fairly close to where the main map is and where the cockpit lies. So you see Menezia scrambling.
What's going on?
I thought I had everything checked. I thought I had everything set up, but it turns out whatever communication device this is, even though it's rudimentary, it's hacked into the system.
So I'm assuming you can hear us.
There's a pause. And then you hear, "That's a much nicer voice than I heard before."
Well, I try. Meanwhile, Nixeris is typing on, like, her device.
Omni-tool.
Yeah, that's what those things are called. You know, today is just
I
not
got
my
you.
day.
Hey, I got you.
All
I
good.
got you.
Everything that Jade
got
does is with an asterisk today. That's what that is. But yes, I think Nixeris is typing on her Omni tool, and kind of like will hold up on her arm. I'll keep him talking. Fix this with a bunch of exclamation points.
I was gonna say Adrana had like a very annoyed face hearing that comment and had typed on there. I was going, that's so good. Oh,
Our
they were gonna
minds.
say, keep him talking. I'm gonna go. Yep, completely in sync. Adrana just nods. Just because.
I think that probably like we turned to each other and held both of them up at the same time.
Spider-Man pointing at Spider-Man meme.
You keep him busy, I'll keep him busy!
Yeah, for Moz as well, whose medicine also just wore off. What am I fixing?
I think that Nixeris is like, because the lovely communications officer, whose name is written before me here, said that we got hacked, and is
Menezia.
Menezia. I was just like, it sounds really cool. I know what this. Menezia mentioned that we got hacked, and Nixeris is like, that's obviously not supposed to happen. And I know that Adrana and Darius, literally everybody besides Nixeris and Worq, is pretty good at this stuff. So I'm gonna do what I do best. Y'all do what you do best.
As you both communicate the same information, Darius, I do feel like you can be pretty much wherever you would like to be on the ship. If you want to be in the main room, you can be towards the cockpit. You can be looking for Mira. You can be. It's up to you. Where do you want to be?
I don't know if it's from our personal comms or whatever. Has it been communicated to Darius that we have been hacked in any way?
I
Or
think
is it
it's
just... I know it's fairly obvious, but it could be a thing of, oh, someone's on the ship now. But if he feels in any way, shape, or form like we've actually been hacked, I think he's going to go to where... I think he might go to where the blue box is for the AI of the ship and try to work through the computer system there instead of going to the cockpit.
okay.
Because that's just where he would think that the most computing power is, and that's more likely to be an easier place to find where the hack originated and for him to knock it out from the ship's source. Because at the end of the day, if the ship has an AI, they're going to go through the AI to get to the rest of the ship because the AI is the ship, essentially.
Right. You can decide up to you if you want to roll or if you think it's something you would know. I think it is fairly obvious with the communications. It does.
Yeah.
It seems internal. So, if you
What do
think
you
it's
want-
reasonable
if-
to know.
I think, yeah, just only because of how electronics is something he's very good at. I think he would figure it out fairly quickly, just through electronics and insight being two of his better things. He probably would just intuit that. Oh yeah, we got. Honestly, this is probably something that's happened to him before. This is like, it's like, well, we got hacked.
Yep. And
Must
I think
be.
that I think it's totally reasonable too.
It's like, I think we've been hacked because I don't know that voice and I don't know who the hell they're talking to. So I'm just going to stay quiet and make my way to a place where I can reverse this hack and possibly hack them through their hack.
Okay.
Would you say
So-
that you're making your way downtown walking fast, faces past, and you're blue box bound?
Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba.
Easy, white chocolate. Wouldn't want you to melt. I know you were quoting the song I'm quoting, White Chicks, but sure.
I thought of the Attack on Titan edit. So whoops.
You know I know nothing about Attack on Titan, so I don't know. You thought that of me.
I recently thought about White Chicks, so I was with you there, but that's purely because of something completely unrelated. 2 Marvel Rivals characters I've made are both blonde white women. Yay!
But I saw that meme. It's
Yeah,
so good.
it is a good meme.
But
But hacked ship.
Yeah, we'll go to that real quick. We'll get you started on that before we do anything else. It is down in the engines area, where Worq had gone the first day. That's where the engines are. That's where the main computers are. So once you find that area, it's pretty easy for you to try to get in. I need you to make me an electronics roll, as immediately you see the screen is just a mess.
Okay, let me make the roll first, and then I'll tell you how he walks into the room. Okay, that's a 22. Just from the mess of running around, I think his hair is not tied, hasn't been tied up. It's been kind of loose. So he definitely does the whole let me move my dreads out of my way thing and puts his hair back into a tie. And then he doesn't have his coat on, so I can't say his collar is popped, but he does crack his neck like he's doing the most physically strenuous thing, but he's just
Mentally you go, I'm breaking in, I'm hacking in, and just but
it's all just it's just 3D all around him. It's just then I'm just
there's only one screen. You're just moving the same screen.
just the edgiest of 90s, late 90s, techno films. Just
look, I'm basing this off of how they had them hacking in the damn game. All right, it was a lot of orange glowing shit popping up all over the place. A lot of hand movement from Joker.
No, yeah, there's multiple screens. You're working at this the best you can, and you're doing a fairly good job as well. You do notice that whatever has hacked the system. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I was just imagining him doing this to a fucking Prodigy song. Like fucking voodoo people or something is just playing. He's just typing furiously.
I don't know why, but I was thinking She Works Hard for the Money was playing in the background.
All right, fair enough.
Don't do this to my character, please.
She works hard for the money. You are getting into the system fairly well. Your timing is working pretty well against whatever is in here. So when something new pops up, your direction goes that way. You are trying to put out small fires where you can. Whatever has hacked the system is in some undecrypted. It's in some sort of decryption that is hard to immediately figure out. A lot of this is based off of not reading what is stated, as it seems to be a mixture of symbols and numbers. But they don't mean necessarily anything together, and they're certainly not symbols you know off the top of your head. But you're seeming to get through this and trying to slowly but surely break in. We're gonna go back to Worq. That
Oh,
was
me,
really quick.
right? Okay,
No, just gonna go back to Worq.
I was joking.
Worq. You saw the steering wheel just click back into place.
The yoke just unyoked itself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What's as a result of that, the ship is like. You said that it jerked, but can you give me a bit more information? Like it, they were turning the ship around, and now is it like kind of going in the opposite direction? Is it kind of like? Can you give me a little bit more on that?
Sure. It looks like you're traveling the same direction that you started.
Okay.
So when you turned to leave, it turned back heavily to go back into place and steady.
Okay. I hate to tell you, I don't really think that Worq has much to externally say about that. At this point, he knows that there's not too much that he can do. He's not an electronics specialist. It's not his bag. So his thought process, his plan, if you will, because there's not Sky isn't around to punch, is that he's delaying until somebody can figure something out. Like he obviously has Venezia working on things. So here's what I'll say. Share character playlist. I should make a playlist for Worq. Worq might attempt to grab the yoke himself and just try and see if he can muscle it. Obviously, he doesn't want to put too much force into it. He want to break the thing, but that's the thing that he might try.
Okay, you can totally roll for that if you'd like to.
Sure. We should roll strength or electronics.
If you're muscling it, I would say athletics. If you're trying to figure out how to lock it into place with how like the yoke works, you may want to go with electronics. But
Tell
if
you
you're trying
what,
to muscle
yeah, because Worq does not want to break this thing, I'm gonna roll electronics.
Okay.
It's a 17. It's not bad.
You know, you did better than I did. It seems that something has distracted whatever has hacked this to where you are able to adjust the yoke to a point where you can lock it into place and lock the direction you're going. So you are able to force it to turn, and then you can reasonably unlock it and make it stay moving forward back towards Omega, if that's what you prefer, or you can direct it wherever you deem necessary.
Yeah, I think that heading back in Omega's direction is what I'm thinking.
Okay. Hi, Lex. All right, so we got that. Now, Adrana, you were leaving Nyxeris, and we'll get to Nyxeris in just a moment. What were you thinking of doing?
The whatever's hacked in, like Adrana's kind of looking to the cameras and seeing if like whatever and can monitor them. So they're going to do a decoy to kind of they're going to walk and then veer off, and like the decoy will still be with Nyxeris. I'm not sure on how far it can go, but that is going to be their first move. Then they're going to go straight for the main areas, definitely the cockpit, like main areas of control, and check in with others.
I would say the first person you run into then would be Worq. Since you're going towards one end where everyone else is at different points, you would find Worq there, who has adjusted the flight pattern back towards Omega.
They make, while they're walking away, they do make 2 copies of the recording and save it for themselves, just on their Omni tool, before they do speak up. Looks like we have front.
I missed that. I didn't hear it.
Looks like we have some fun.
Don't remind me.
How you doing here?
The damn comm I took off the blue sun.
And he just shakes his head. Just
That's what we got? Yeah, okay. And they're going to kind of support Worq to let's see.
Worq's actually going to kind of pick up on an idea that like you had, and he's gonna like basically produce his Omni tool, and it's gonna say trying to keep him busy while everyone else is figuring it out is all it's gonna say.
They like glance far past you as if they're just looking at something else, but they read it. And they take like a couple of moments before, but they do a like an investigation, but also electronics. I don't know, to kind of see or pinpoint certain like high overloading areas, or in the like the computer on board, like where is like it's starting from, like the root cause or something like that.
Sure. I think you could roll either, so it's really up to you.
Oh, that's an 18 plus 8 for a 26.
Oh, heck yeah. And what was that one for?
That is one just as if they're doing task manager and seeing where this like root cause is.
Was it electronics or was it investigation?
Investigation.
Okay. So going through, Control Alt Delete, you're pulling up a basic idea of what you can try to find in this system. Turian technology, it all has similar feelings, so you know how to get to the root cause of what can I do at a bare minimum. And you're looking through, and you can see a map of the ship and the different areas. It looks like boxes that show rooms and then hallways that connect them. You also see something that looks more of like a nervous system that is dotted lines, and it shows areas that seem to be accessible by the dotted blue lines. That does not go into the barracks or into the bathrooms, but it goes into most of any other rooms. And then below that nervous system, you see a more intense nervous system. So I guess more would be like skeletal, and then veins, and then a nervous system. As you can see, small conductors and connectors. You can't necessarily mess with them at this portion. It's more of just looking into the internal, what connects to what, like you're at the breaker, or at least the outside view of a breaker for the ship. You see that there's a lot of work happening in the engine room currently. You see that there's some flickering, not necessarily that it's not connected anymore, but you see something like actively happening down there. You see a large surge of unknown little boxes that are popping up in areas, but the most areas that it's popping up in are going to be in the main room where the communications was, as it seems to be stemming from there. But the second highest place would be the engine room. You also do see the technical captain's quarters, which are connected to your meeting room as ciphers. The captain's quarters hasn't necessarily been taken, as there's many of you. But this room seems to also have some form of higher priority, as it has a lot of unknown, like, caution pop-ups near that as well.
They kind of take note of it and put like a summary kind of things onto their Omni tool that they're first going to like send to Worq just to have and then straight to Darius. But they're gonna just be like, well, all right, good luck here. I'm going to be right back. I don't know how to do any of this, so I'm just gonna get something to eat on or something to snack. Maybe something to drink? Yeah. And then they just kind of like do a little and kind of walk out. Junie, can you hear me? And they're gonna talk to the Turian from the armory. That's Junie, right? Junie?
Yeah. Sorry, I was just having a hard time hearing you. You hear them come in. I hear you. What's going on?
I have some friends. I'm gonna send you some ship information. I think we need a little bit of. I don't know what we'll need, but it's good to keep an eye on what's in the armory for now. Maybe we'll need some sparklers later. And they just send the same information to them. And then they're gonna call up Darius. Hey, Hotshot. Look at this. We have some friends over here. Look at these little black boxes here. And if we go all the way down to this skeletal structure, you can see a lot of messy things here. Is there somewhere we can do something like a little door or maybe a receptor code that just turns them the wrong way around?
Before I give my answer, Serenity, is there a way I could do that?
Can you repeat it for me? I'm sorry, you're a little quiet, so I'm having a hard time hearing you. For Moz, yep.
They were asking Darius if they could pretty much start closing out like how nerve cells talk to each other and they just like divert it, pretty much putting out a code where like they just start losing control of certain things, whereas the function just switches them to something else. Instead of doors, they're like turning off lights and they're not able to really control something.
Okay, I think something similar can absolutely occur. I would need you to roll electronics for it. Yeah, with how good your roll was before, you can just roll it normal. But Darius, if you could roll at or roll it in electronics to see what you can do.
Nix, give me a second. I'll see if I can get on that. I'm already on it. But let's see. 25.
Okay. You know that once you get into a certain point, you should be able to see an edit adaptable version of what Adrana saw. So you see a very similar picture, but it's far more intense, and it has a lot of options that you can choose to divert power or change things. So you can easily change certain functions to react with different commands, if that's what you prefer, but you can also fully remove power from certain areas and like cut it there. They would still have oxygen because oxygen is and more emergent and a deeper option. So you wouldn't have to worry about people not being able to breathe. Just if they're in the barracks and you shut off the power, then they can't see. And they would have to manually jimmy the doors open.
But me doing this would make the control that we've lost. How am I trying to word this? By me cutting off certain portions of the ship, it will make it easier for me to kick out the people who are currently controlling the ship. Essentially, though.
Essentially, if you
At
were to do
least-
that,
yeah,
you
at
would
least-
be kind of gating them into one area to focus harder. So you could absolutely do that, or you can change what the functions do entirely, like Adrana was suggesting, and make it to where they don't know what they're exactly doing, but they're doing something.
My only problem with I should say this as Darius. I'll think this is Darius' thought process in his own voice. Only problem with switching that to something where they don't know what they're doing is that if they do hit something vital, they can cut off life support for everything without knowing they're doing it. They think they're opening the door, suddenly people are getting jettisoned outside into the black void of space. And I'm pretty sure only Worq has a not reproductive system. Only Worq has a reductive nervous system.
Only Worq can save us if we all perish. Only he can repopulate the Mirage.
No, we got Nyx. We have a few Asari on board, actually, if I remember correctly. I'm the only human. I'm the only one in real danger here. But I'm good if I get jettisoned above board. I've got a second character. It's fine.
Wow, this internal monologue's intense. Are you okay?
No, that turned into Daryl. I think he's gonna start cutting non-vital systems. Like you said, like you get barracks. Cutting power in the barracks isn't too terrible. If they have to jimmy their way out of the room just to get into another area, that's fine. Right now, the people in the barracks aren't needed. They're probably sleeping. He's gonna keep power on like med bay and places like the armory. Basically, things that we might quickly need to get to. In what are you still laughing at? Reductive. You're muted. You're muted. And okay, all right, we'll leave it at that.
Don't read chat.
Yeah, he's gonna cut non-essential things to kind of narrow their point of view because he doesn't want to give them nothing's worse than the Wabajack. This is a Skyrim reference. Than the Wabajack being in the hands of someone who actively means you harm, because the Wabajack can do anything. It can turn you into a chicken or it can turn you into a giant. Who knows? I don't want to give that to them. So we're just going to narrow their view here.
Perfect. So tell me, you said non-vital. So barracks.
I'm cutting power to like things like the barracks. As long as they can breathe, They don't need the lights on. They have Omni tools. I'm not cutting their personal devices. It's just the lights cut off. Cutting lights off in the bathroom. Hey, you can figure your way out of a shower, I hope.
Rip Mira.
Also, um, what else? The main battery needs to stay on. Our personal rooms. I'm cutting stuff off in there. We're not in there right now. That's several rooms to narrow their pathway through. I don't know if I want to. I'm going to keep Quill online simply for the fact that once we narrow it down and she's back, or I should say they're back online. I forget. What are Quill's does Quill go by they, them, or it y'all?
I don't think we ever asked.
Yeah, we never. It was immediately hostile between myself and Quill, mostly from Quill's point of view. I'm just gonna refer it to as them. Daryl says it. Darius says them.
They go by any pronouns, just for
Any pronouns.
outside knowledge. So you're totally fine.
Okay.
So speaking of Quill, you do see that there is, along the areas that Quill can appear on, they seem to be glitching out, and you see the dotted blue line that seems to lead to wherever Quill can access is flickering as well. Like it's not completely working. So you are able to turn off powers really easily. I will need you real quick. Go ahead and roll me a general intelligence.
Oh, here's the thing. I'm good at electronics. I think I'm really dumb. I'm not. A general intelligence. Let's see. 17.
That's really good. You know that an AI's capability in the world of Mass Effect on a ship is to make life easier. It does not replace jobs. It finds places to where it would be dangerous for people to go, such as in the engine, to fix things. But you also know that Quill can take care of a lot of general things internally. You do know it is possible for the ship to exist and for you to turn off Quill. However, you haven't really dealt with turning off an AI, I would say.
The thing. And that's the thing. He only knows of how he... Sorry to cut you off. Darius only knows of what he's heard of AI, especially with the stories told of Commander Shepard and the SR2 with Edie on board, and how pivotal she was to the functioning of said ship, especially when she was unshackled. Granted, he does not... he isn't there yet. He isn't quite to unshackling. They haven't gotten that rapport yet where he's just like, I'll let you out. He does not want to shut her down because he doesn't know how pivotal her role is. Because it could be a thing of they probably, when they built the ship, they might have put a shutdown protocol where if she gets shut down, the whole ship gets shut down. He doesn't know. And he does not want to risk that. But also, he is aware that if he can get possibly just her functioning to a monochrome of what she was functioning at, if she can give him some sass like she was giving earlier, then he'll have another partner in the hacking of the other group. But something much deeper. Quill will remember that. I'm being nice.
They remember everything. Okay. All right. So I will say that Worq, you are still in the room where the screen is open. You see that the rooms that have been listed by Darius are no longer connected to power, and therefore not connected to the rest of the ship power-wise. So it seems to block off things there. So you see that reflected, and then I would say probably, do you communicate with Adrana that you finished it, or would you just, or that you're actively working on it? Because I'm not sure if you're finished turning things off yet.
I'll communicate that. Adrana, you gave me a wonderful piece of information. Just to let it be known, I'm working on it.
You see, that's all you have to say.
Bells?
It's Christmas.
I mean,
Merry Christmas! This is actually the Christmas episode of Mass Effect Mirage.
So coming to you in January. Hey.
Actually, Merry Crisis is correct. This is a crisis. Merry Crisis. Okay, so that's done. Adrana is just ringing out.
Adrana was going to say something cute.
Adrana's been hacked.
I like that.
No.
That there's just like a
too
slight
many buttons
like
on their Omni tool, just. But they send like a text reply back because I cannot speak through this, but it's like a flirty wink, and it's like, of course you got this, but be fast. I don't want them any closer than they already are, or something like that. Smiley winky face. Also, Junie has weapons. Let me know if we're trying to have some fun. And then it's just like another like little explosion, and then like smiley face.
Darius does not know what to get from how flirty that was. And then immediately we're trying to have fun. And Darius just goes, thumbs up. Finger guns.
They just forward that to Nyx and to Worq. Like Darius has it.
now. Okay, before we get to more important things, I just have to know: did Darius, like, once he sent that, did he go nailed it, or do you think you went no?
Darius said, "What the fuck am I supposed to do with? All right, here, thumbs up, finger guns. All right."
Yeah, not the here, damn.
He's working.
Yeah, it was literally like, yeah, okay, here, damn. Life is a mystery. As like a prayer starts playing.
Don't get us a copyright strike, y'all.
That's fine.
Look, hey, I shared the Darius playlist. It's all copy. The actual official first track is so fresh, so clean. So
okay, Nyx. So while things are happening, I'd say they're going to happen as you two are having this conversation. After you have decided to distract the voice, you hear, so you're the ones that were trying to meddle in everything.
I mean, sure. Honestly, if you covered your tracks better, then we would have known anything.
We typically do a pretty good job. I think you're just nosy.
Been called worse things before, but I must say, I am a bit curious about what is your goal here?
There's an astounding pause before you hear, right now?
Hmm.
Or generally?
I mean, now and 10 years and 50 years and however long else.
Then you hear a startling laugh, and everyone who is in the ship is going to hear the reactions, but not the questions. So you'll only hear the reactions coming over the comms. You hear a startling chortle. It sounds it's coming like from the diaphragm and belly of whoever is on the other side of this. You almost hear them wipe away tears. And then they state, "You have no idea what the insurgence is, do you?"
No, why don't you enlighten me? And Nyx is like, again, if you could, if for, she's trying her best to kind of be like, oh my god, tell me more. But like, for people that are physically can see Nyx, she's just like, this is the most boring shit ever. Like, yawn. Tomatoes, tomatoes. But yeah, that's basically she's trying to keep him talking because she's remembering from the Jonas's memories that this guy is very fanatic, probably loves talking about himself and this goal. So the more that she can get him talking about the stuff that he's passionate about, the better.
Sure. You then hear a question back. What causes one to meddle in something they have no idea about?
I mean, when you start involving former alliance and other folks, then of course some people will be interested.
We have a job to do. They were in our space. They shouldn't have been out there in the first place.
Who died and made you the owners of this outer rim?
Hundreds of millions of Batarians. That's who. And you hear his tone shift from this almost belittling disbelief to serious.
Perfect. Now, would Nixeris know? Hey, my food's here. Would Nixeris know about any like big, larger documented like Batarian genocide or any of things of similar nature, or is this like basically she's trying to figure out what he's referring to if there's a particular event?
You do know. I'll say there's one that's pretty generally well known. I would like you to roll some sort of history. It shouldn't be a very high roll, but.
Gotcha. Let's see. That is a 15.
Oh, that's enough.
Yeah.
You do know back during the first bout of the Reaper Wars, when the Citadel was initially struck, the Reapers had traveled through an area that was heavy Batarian territory, and that was a largely fatal event that, from what you heard in history, Shepard tried to warn them, tried to help, but they were also quite a few Mass Effects away.
All right. Yeah. Okay. I think that Nixeris is right, at least right now. What she is saying will still basically try to keep him talking still. But that, of course, was the Reapers. It wasn't anything that any of the other races did. Now, was it?
It wasn't what they did. It was what they didn't do. It was what they didn't do. If we had been Asari, or human, even, something would have happened. Do you know how many small human colonies were saved? While hundreds and millions, or hundreds of millions of Batarians died in their own homeland?
I wanna make a note for the record that Worq is proverbially biting his tongue, but his eyes are just rolling so hard at this.
Yeah.
If they were face to face, he could not give less of a fuck about this dude.
Darius, exact same. Worq and Darius are eye rolling in the exact same direction, just as hard.
It's just like that one fucking cut where it's just you see them both at the same time in totally different areas of the ship. Just get a load of this guy.
Really though.
We're definitely given the black confusion face from across the room. Just to
hold on, just so you can have it for a clip. Just
will you get a load of this guy?
Nice. Beautiful. Excellent.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks.
Oh boy! All right. Anyway, sorry. We need to go back to the serious monologue, in which I was only slightly mocking Serenity.
I'm deceased.
Lovingly, because I was like, I can't believe you pulled this event out of your ass for this.
I didn't pull it out of my ass. I pulled it out of the lore, bitch.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real. I don't remember any of that shit. So I was like,
No,
I remember this game. Oh no, I thought you were talking. No, this is not the first game. This is from the fucking DLC.
This is this is from the DLC from both the first game and the second game. In the third game, before the DLC came out, it just kind of gets mentioned that a Mass Effect field blew up and it destroyed a bunch of Batarian colonies. In the second game DLC, you actually play through the event that caused it to blow up, and then you figure out that's why Shepard got grounded between the second and the third game.
Correct.
Oh.
I am a nerd.
No, I was there with you. I was like, first game? Are we okay? Yes. Go on.
In the first game, you meet that's when you meet the guy the Batarian that actually is like hunting you down. In the third game, is like, I'll help you out because I tried to hit Earth with a meteor.
Wild.
Because for some reason we put rockets on a meteor.
Dirty.
Damn right we did.
Anyway, done nerding. And please continue. Lovingly.
But yeah, I think that from that, Nyxeris like, oh, okay. Also probably joining in like, are you being serious right now? Like, come on. But she's got a job to do. So your grand plan is to just exterminate the other races in retaliation?
There's silence. And then you hear, no. Extermination is too easy.
Too easy, huh? What makes it think that, and this is before this gets a little bit, keep in mind, Nyxeris is trying to get him talking. She doesn't think this. So what makes you think that a bunch of Batarians can come up with something that the other races haven't yet? More suffering rather than just dying.
You can feel the seething behind the communicator before you hear, "Who are you, little girl?"
Smash cut the Worq being like, nope, I'm not saving you now. That's you. See ya.
If it flips to Adrana, it's just like them taking out their assault rifle, just like and like cocking it. They're like, okay.
I mean,
Nope. Any anger, any rage that Worq had towards this character, gone. Just pity now. Just pity.
there's like a bit of a pause there. I don't need you to know my name, but I'm not really familiar with Batarian religion. But whatever entity that you believe in, you should be making your peace with them soon enough.
I have made peace. I have made the future. If you think you're so smart, so coy, fine. Show me. I'll even not use my little toy that scared that stupid little human.
No, Jonas.
Who?
Or was it the other one? You see, for a person that really is about their people, you sure do bring in a lot more other races to help you out. Funny how that works.
It's funny that others can understand that they need to take charge for their forgiveness. They join so that they can be redeemed.
Well, this has been, I would say, enlightening, but not really. But is there anything else you want to talk about, while whatever is going on right now is happening?
You hear the comms beginning to short. Darius, you have been able to minimize the impact to a point to where now the engine room, the cockpit, and the main room that has the communications are all on, but everything else has been minimized. As this has been happening, Nyx, you don't notice any change in his voice until now, like he's finally noticed something.
I just
Before
want to
you...
put this out there.
Yeah.
Darius is in the engine room. He's gotten hot. He is fully shirtless now while he's hacking.
Oh my god.
Music change.
He's gone full Willem. He's gone full Willem Dafoe in in Boondock Saints.
Careless whisper playing in the background. Just...
Like he's using his gun to hack a few things now. Like he's been pressing a few buttons with his gun and just spinning it for no reason. And it's like he's working up a sweat. And just the way the light is hitting the abdominal muscles. for no reason. It is pure anime. It is pure anime. It is like when you watched Death Note and people are like writing names in a fucking notebook, but they have to make it look epic for some reason. There's like lightning shooting out of a pen. That's what it looks like right now. It's just like unnecessarily epic, even though he's just like, nah, nah, eh, eh.
I feel like the Omni tool is set up for a video that may or may not be sent to Adrana later. I don't know. We'll question that if it looks as good as we think it does. But yeah, no, you're working insanely hard on this. And then everyone can see the lights in the rooms that you're in flicker, starting to go back to the cool blue. There's heavy static that is slightly barring whatever this person behind is saying before you hear, between static, you hear, "Come find redemption," and then everything will cut. Darius, halfway through this, you've been working hard, and you finally see that the unknowns are beginning to drop. Like the connection was willingly cut. There's only one unknown left in the main communications room.
Via Omni tool, I send this out as a burst thing of like one last thing in the system. It's somewhere in the communications room.
Worq's gonna turn around and march to the communications room, and if he meets anybody there, he does.
Nick's been in there.
Then I'll defer to you first, because I was just coming to probably smash that comm.
Does Quill come back online fully?
You see that there is a full restart needed. Not for the full ship, but for Quill.
He will start that for them.
Okay, perfect. It looks like it might take a moment.
Trying to get them brownie points back, homie.
Yeah.
He's fully not concerned in the same way that he says whatever he wants to Worq. It's like full blow is just like, yeah, I give my friends shit the same way that I gave shit to 2 full specters earlier today. I don't really care. This is but you're right. But they're
You right. Go off, King.
It's like, nice. But yeah, I'm gonna restart you because why? You're a part of the ship, and yeah, we joke. we outside, but yeah, he does that. Does not put a shirt back on, but then begins to move back upstairs.
Nice. Is Adrana going to meet in that room as well, or what is Adrana up to?
They're going to meet up with Junie if they can to kind of set up, and then they'll like move forward if there was like messages from them to like meet up at the communications room. If they can, Serenity. Mm-hmm. Should I roll stealth to do this next bit? Like pretty, like I know they're going to try and ring, like, call their brother.
Okay.
Just on the way, just to get this out of this, like their kind of to-do list, and then just go to the next really quick, if that's okay.
Sure. Yeah, you can definitely do that. Go ahead and roll me that sleight of hand.
Sleight of hand only with +4 for a 10.
For 10? Okay. It would be more obvious if people weren't worried about what was happening right now. So I'd say that unless someone is outright paying attention to you, you are doing a fairly good job at keeping yourself quiet. Yeah. There is no answer. It goes to a voicemail.
They first kind of zip file that recording down to a smaller size and rename it to something else. Kind of put it in the message. And quickly they would say, guys, hello, soldier boy. I have something that you need, something that might be good. I don't know if it's information that you'd like, but it's information. It keeps your little military friends off my crew. And you get to look good. So, until I could get more, here's a little hacker friend that we have. And we'll kind of send that off and pretty much end the message with like a text saying, let me know how much this is worth. If this saves us 2 more days.
Okay.
After that, they will for sure get to the armory, kind of pull some stuff off the walls, and see if Junie wants to join them to the communications room.
You are pulling things off the wall. It does seem that Junie was fairly actively reattaching things as you're walking in. Like, once he had found out that there was a hack, it looks like he unplugged whatever he could from the main areas, including locks that like vaults, and he was trying to pull them off power, and now you see him actively restarting a lot of things and actively resetting things. As you ask him to join, he'll just give you a slight smirk before shaking his head. No, I'm fine where I am. I think it's more important that we get everything reset. I made a bit of a mess.
They'll kind of look around and not really see the mess, but they'll still like nod and kind of give a wink before they kind of like leave to the communications room.
Before you leave, you hear, do me a favor, would you?
What?
Once your meeting's over, can you go by the barracks? Just make sure everything's okay.
If I have time.
Well, if I have to make you make time, then I will.
You know, I'd like to see that.
Just do me this favor, okay?
She smiles and nods and is like, and does that while walking out.
You see the smile is still there. You see like him huff physically, before going back, almost like sitting and straddling a vault that he had unplugged, trying to manually reset it to make it open and work and reset everything again, just so it wasn't locked. but you are able to go back to the main room. I would like to take a little bit of a break before we all reconvene.
Hell yeah.
Cool.
All right, y'all, hang tight. We're gonna take a 10-minute break, so refill your water, grab your snacks, all of that. We'll be doing the same. So see you in a bit. Hey y'all, welcome back to Mass Effect Mirage. We have had a lot of shit going on. So I'll give Serenity to give us like a quick what the hell happened before break for folks that, joined us a little bit later in the session.
Yeah. The whole ship, the Mirage, was hacked by a communicator that was hooked up to the system. The person behind said communicator had a fun little conversation with our resident Asari Nixeris, who ultimately just told him, I don't care. Which, set him off a little bit. Worked hard. Sorry, I couldn't think of a different word. He was able to manually make sure the ship could go where they necessarily deemed it to go. Adrana was hacking into part of the system and was able to get a idea of what areas would be best to possibly shut down to stop this communication, while Darius was legitimately hacking into the system, but cue sunglasses and green text on a black screen as he was making sure to just cut off anything that wasn't necessarily important. Now, at this point, the voice behind the screen seemed to have left something behind, but has cut communications and has given power back to the ship. Quill, the AI, is being restarted, and everyone is meeting in the communications room.
I just want to put one more thing for the hacking portion of it.
Mhm.
Any place where I see vulnerable spots that may have been left open due to the hacking that just happened, I make sure to put a program in place to block those off, so that one, it can't happen again, and two, there's not a back channel or a back door left open for them to come back in, even if we destroy what caused the initial hack in the first place. I basically try to close off anything after the fact. I'm sure Quill will get right on it, but Quill's not back up yet.
No, perfect. Yeah, and that starts immediately. It will go a little faster when Quill is back up, but it definitely starts on the right track, so good thinking. Does everyone meet in the main communications room?
Yep. I think that Nixeris also, because I know that Worq kind of went into the comms room. If Worq wants to smash that thing, Nix ain't gonna stop him, so by all means, if you want to do that, then go ahead.
Jinx,
Go
let me
ahead.
start
Go
off.
ahead.
I think Worq is actually just going to grab the communications device because it's got a chip taken out of it that was plugged into the ship. And he's going to pocket it for now. But then he's going to turn to Venezia.
Cat.
Listen. That one's on me. But get that chip the hell out of there. Safely as you can.
And does not wait. He's out to meet with everybody else.
Nix is following.
Well, were you all going to meet in that room?
Oh, sure, yeah. Then he's not going to leave.
Yeah, I was like, oh, we're meeting somewhere else. Then all right, Nix is
Yeah,
good.
that's what I thought. Because you said the main communications room. I was like, there's another one. All right, sure. I'll go
I'm
wherever.
imagining it's where you start fast traveling on the world map.
It is. It is.
Literally,
that is
literally,
exactly
it's that.
what it is. Yeah,
That's amazing.
Main/communications room is what I've
Yeah.
been calling it. The main room, but also has communications, just so that was communicated.
Right.
But yeah, she'll just give you a nod. She looks very apologetic, concerned. It looks like she's scrubbing on her end anything that she can on the computer. and everyone meets in one place. And if you wish it to be so, Menezia happily volunteers to leave so you can all talk.
Oh, nonsense. Let's just go into the meeting room and we'll go that way, which should be not that far for everybody, right? Yeah.
Right. Sure. That works for me.
Easily.
Darius has been ran up the stairs, not realizing that everyone is calmly going into this meeting room, thinking like it's another fire that he's so still has not put a shirt on, and he just runs in, fully sweating, just carrying the shirt, just. All right. So what's happening here? All right, I gotta plug it in here, right? So, let's go. Y'all better calm.
Relax.
What? Come on, man! I've been hacking my ass off downstairs. I thought there was another.
And your
No.
shirt.
Not another one. Yeah.
All right.
And work
So-
self rolls.
How did the first one start? How'd they get in?
The comms device that I took off the Blue Sun.
He very much angles his body towards you and gives you a silent like, you know what? I don't have to see it. All right.
The meeting room,
Don't go
gentlemen.
on.
The meeting room. Nyx is kind of like poking her head back out because she walked thoughting that both the people were gonna go. I was like, hey.
Work,
Oh, I thought
work
we
is
were in the meeting room.
Oh, bet. All
Yeah,
right.
I thought so too, but you know, if it's
Yeah, this
more
is him
cinematic.
running into the meeting room.
Bet.
Yeah.
All right.
Like you're already there. He just comes in fully shirtless. All right, what's going
Bet.
on? And then
Go
Worq
on.
says,
Go on.
all right.
Go ahead.
I'm assuming you didn't plug it in yourself, right?
Right.
Okay. Who did you give it to?
Venezia, comms officer. Sorry.
And above board, I can't Serenity. I legitimately cannot tell if this was
Venezia.
just like it. Yeah, no, I'm talking Serenity.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm talking to the GM.
Yeah. My bad.
Same.
Go
They're
on.
the same person, technically speaking.
Sure.
What? No.
You mentioned several times that none of us had ever seen this comms officer. Was that just a running gag that you were doing for yourself, or was this like a legit? We never saw this person when we got on this ship, and who is she type deal?
I saw her.
Nyxeris is the only person that saw her.
Okay, got you.
It was meant to be a communications wise, just so you know, she's very wallflower-esque. Like, you don't
Gotcha.
notice she's there until she says something, and even then you're like, who said that? So she
Gotcha.
doesn't make much of a presence.
Okay. This was going back into my head of like when I said if anyone's on the ship that shouldn't be there. I was about to, ooh, you almost got her shot dead in the face.
Then the PvP would really happen. Be like, no, not
Mm.
my Shayla.
Ooh, she was about to be
My
gone. Let me tell you, I was just like, oh, no one saw her except for one person. She's a plant. Boom.
My Shayla. Nezia did nothing wrong.
She's a robot. Ah.
Justice for Menezia, 4187.
No,
Yeah,
okay.
I think with
So-
that, Nyx will turn to Adrana. If you don't mind pulling up the video from the interrogation, that would be helpful.
Sure.
And where is our other guest? Anyone know?
Last I left her, oh shit. I turned the lights off in the shower. I'll be
You
right
what?
back.
Hey, Quill?
Are we
Hey, Quill?
Let me see if Quill's back up. High or low?
Low.
I don't know how to make things work. You see slowly Quill populating on the dark bricked side of the walkways of the meeting room. As she seems to be fairly stable, fairly clean in picture, since she just was restarted. Yes, how can I be of service?
Do you know the status of our human female guest?
Checking. Wet.
Is she still in the bathroom?
From what I see, yes. However, I cannot go into the bathrooms.
Okay. I just wanted to make it easier on Darius if he didn't need to run yet up and down again.
No, let him run.
I like you.
I'm not even gonna lie. Darius is enjoying the workout. Like this is fine for him.
Worq is gonna lean over to Adrana and go,
15 credits? He runs right into her in the shower.
20. No, double it. If he runs into her, they slip and fall.
Doesn't seem like a kind of slip and fall guy, but I'll take it.
You know, there
Oh, I
was this
feel like he
one
is.
time. No, I shouldn't continue.
Hey, Worq, high or low?
Please continue.
High? Holy shit, y'all are on it today.
Give me a
Yes.
deck save at least.
I'm going to! Let me do what I'm going to do! Can I finish? Right around the corner, you turn. You're at top speed. You're in the middle of a runner's high at this point. Your adrenaline is hit. I need you to make me a dex saving throw.
$21.
21.
Yes.
okay.
Okay. You don't run directly into her. However, Moz, high or low?
Hi.
I need you to make me another dexterity saving throw as the floor's really, really wet because she ran out from the
Me?
shower. Yeah.
I have to make another one?
Yeah.
Okay. 9.
9?
I rolled a nat 2.
Perfect.
Wait, hold on. I'm rogue. I don't know
Okay.
how this is. I just. No, I'm thinking of evasion. Shit, never mind. Where I just automatically succeed. No, never mind. I did.
You really want to use that on a fucking puddle?
I won't look cool.
You do look cool.
I won't look cool, Serenity.
Oh, you look so cool. You can make a performance check to fall really cool if you want.
Can I do the cool anime slide? Serenity! Come on!
You can make a roll.
Don't make me look like a dork.
This man wants to Akira motorcycle slide in the shower, bro.
Yes, you get it, Sparrow. I'm the only human on board the ship. Don't make me look like a nerd.
You have to roll for this. I can't give it to you.
What am I rolling?
You can roll like a performance if you want, or an athletics, or like an acrobatics if you want.
Oh, thank God. I'll take the acrobatics. I'm gonna start crying. No, I'm not.
If this is
Holy
what makes
shit.
you cry, I haven't done my job right.
No, that's a nat 20 for a total of 30.
Okay. So here's what happens. So, you round the corner, and you run into Mira, who has grabbed and put clothes back on, but you realize that her hair isn't dried, she's not completely dry, so when she's walking around, there's a bit of wet spots following. You don't run quite into her, you avoid her. However, instead, you slip on the water.
Mm-hmm.
You do fall. However, as you fall, you do the coolest slide known to man. It's a sick kickflip, if only anyone was there to see it. And you end up, because I'm going to give it to you with a nat 20, as Mira falls, you just catch her. So easy. So you're almost in this cool, like, low Spider-Man pose.
Thank
And
you
you-
for letting me roll for this. It was integral for me as a player because I would have left. Not really.
She seems fine. Just as Quill had announced, wet.
We'll circle back to that later because I did just catch her.
Her hair's soaking. Christ.
All right, whatever. Oh, everyone else can do it, but as soon as Daryl tries to do it, no.
Fine,
Daryl
high or
can-
low?
I don't. Okay, what?
High or low?
I don't want to roll for this.
Okay, then we won't.
I'm deceased.
I was giving you a
We'll
chance. You want everyone?
get-
You were like everyone else gets chance. Bet.
No, if that's a thing, we'll get there through role play. I don't want to actually roll for it. We'll just say suffices off the nat 20 for 30. Yes, I catch her as we both jumble into water and I slide across the. Oh, hey. Sorry if it got dark. We got hacked. Everything's fine now. How was your shower?
Good until it was dark.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. We got hacked. Was that the voice?
Yeah, it's been resolved. And that is why I don't have a shirt on. I'm realizing there's a lot of things coming to fruition right now because you just got out the shower. Sorry, I'm a bit sweaty. I almost said anti-hacking. I was counter-hacking. And I get hot. It was down in the engine room. It was a bit sweaty down there.
Can I stand up now?
Yes. And I shall do the same. All right.
Thank you for catching me. And she stands up and almost like puts a full step between you two.
I'm fine with this. I make no move to try to do anything else.
And she puts her hand out after she says thank you, and then looks at her hand, almost trying to realistically find out if she actually just put her hand out to shake it.
Hey, big dog. No, he doesn't. He doesn't do that. He does not do that.
I was like, that's crazy.
It'd be crazier if it worked.
Mira, how'd you
Yep.
meet your husband? So I was in the shower, right? And
I
Nice.
slipped.
I slipped, he slipped. He did this sick ass kickflip that I'm pretty sure he didn't think I saw, but I definitely did see. And then I was like, all right, can I go? And he was like, ayo, big dog. And it was love ever since.
And I just didn't let go of his hand at the end. I just followed him.
in the thing is, in all of this, all he can think of is how much fun his sisters would make fun of him if they had seen this, and he's so glad that they're not here.
Fair. But she seems
Nice.
fine. She seems
Okay.
perfectly fine.
All right, longest shower ever. All right, we'll get you squared away with a place to sleep, and for you to relax, and we've questioned things. There's a lot of stuff happening. I just wanted to make sure that because I was the one that kind of cut the power to the bathrooms, I had to cut some power to cut off the hack, and someone just mentioned where you were, and I'm sorry. I'm glad you're okay and you did not slip and fall in the dark.
Thank you. I'm glad I didn't do that either, but I'm not. I can't be mad for you trying to stop hacking. I'm not huge on computers or anything, so I assume you did a good job because there's no longer a voice in the hallway.
Yeah, we're actually having a meeting about that. Which I ran out of to make sure you were okay. All right, so I'll get you to your quarters, and then I'm going back to the important meeting.
I need you to make me a perception check.
Perception?
Mhm.
Okay. She has a knife.
I think that while this is happening, Nyx will probably give the TLDR of the interrogation to Worq because I think that she's assuming Worq had no time to watch that video. So now Worq would be in the know about what happened there.
Perfect. So right around the time that Darius will be coming back, then we'll all be on the same page.
Yeah.
What did you get?
14.
14.
14.
As you are looking over Mira's shoulder, you see something in the background. And all you see is Quill just standing and smiling, watching
Outside of the bathroom or in the bathroom?
outside of the bathroom.
Okay.
Because Mira has walked out of the bathroom.
Okay.
It's
Okay,
here,
I
like,
was
right
just
at the
making
door.
sure. I was about to go full conspiracy theorist because I was just like, she just said she can't go in the bathroom.
No, she can't. But she's just standing there smiling, looking at you.
I mean, the abs are popping, so in his head, it's just like, yeah.
It's almost a, I saw your sick kickflip.
He gives a thumbs up. And as Mira walks out, he follows suit and he goes to Quill. Glad to see you back online. I did my best to get you back up as quickly as possible. Hopefully, with you and me, we can keep them from doing that again.
Okay.
It's still like that. Okay.
That was far nicer than how I would normally address you.
I've done nothing wrong. And he lets his hair down just so so when he turns his head away, it flips up towards her. It's very playful in his mind. He does not know how an AI would take this. But he kind of looks back at Quill and winks and walks away with his head still up in the air and goes back to the meeting. This is all funny to him.
So in the meeting room, there is still Quill AI there, but she is just kind of paused, and is mimicking the facial expressions that she was in the other part of the ship. And you all see her.
And a moment later, Darius comes back in. All right, she's fine. She did not fall in. Nobody fell. So, what are we talking about?
Good. I have questions for her. Basically, since I think that most of us heard what I found with our other guest, it seems that this insurgence is really wanting some revenge on something that a lot of us had no control over. But one thing that did interest me out of all the maniacal raving of this guy is something about a weapon that scared the human. Presumably, the human that we just picked up off of Omega. So, I want to know what that weapon is. Oh, and we know their location, but I think that we'll get there when we get there.
GM, from Darius's time in the Alliance doing what he was doing, has he ever heard of such a weapon that would possibly scare humans? Apparently, specifically humans, from a weapon that Batarians would have, considering he was kind of doing stuff against the Batarians when they were doing stuff against all the other races.
The question in itself, I just want to reiterate, guns are scary. So there are a lot of weapons that could just scare a person. However, you do know that this is an officer. So there's a high chance that it had to be a pretty phenomenal weapon to scare her to the point of resignation. However, this doesn't seem like something Batarians automatically having. You don't have a recollection of that specifically. You do know that a lot of Batarians do end up being pirates. So it's very plausible that they could have someone else's tech.
Basically, they got lucky and found something that will work for them. Gotcha.
We don't know that. We don't know that. Maybe they came up with it themselves. I'm just saying.
It could be many things.
Uh-huh.
Could be many things.
It's just that Nyx was being an asshole on purpose, so that's why she's like, but it worked.
Right. So we have a heading. We have more information than we had before. They revealed themselves. How do we want to approach this?
I'm of the mind that we need to start asking questions to figure out what that weapon is. Which is a concern, because usually I would be the first person to be like, let's just go blow it up, but we'll ask a little bit of questions before we start blowing things up.
Worq is quiet, but his arms are folded over his chest, and it almost looks like he's like not listening to what's going on. But like you can kind of see like he's working through something right now.
Adrana was like excited at the thought of like, oh, blowing something up. Wait, yes, questions, and they're kind of nodding to it. Rani, could they see if Darius had fallen?
Nice.
This is up to you guys, but if I were to do this, I would roll an insight, and then if you're comfortable with the rolling, then Darius could roll a deception. If you'd like to do it that way.
Honestly, Darius technically didn't fall. He did something very cool instead, so he's fine with it. I'm not
I
gonna.
don't know.
He,
Serenity
he's
said the word fall. I'm just.
There was a fall.
You saved it from being a complete fall, but you did tumble.
Falling with style.
Yes.
Nah, you know what?
Nah, I'm
If
not
you're not
gonna
trying to
risk-
hide
I'm not
it,
gonna-
like we can do a perception
I'm
and
not
just to
gonna
see if
hide it.
something's. Oh, Adrana just kind of listening to Nick's, kind of notices that, kind of taps Worq, and just does like this. Before what kind of questions are we looking?
I mean, I don't really know as much as probably you all do about the intricacies of how weapons of. I'm just gonna go out on a limb here and say mass destruction work, but what is the weapon? How does it work? Can we destroy the weapon? Are among my few top questions at the moment.
Luckily, for me, who has this and how can we get it out of there? That's it. I'd rather blow it up, but it depends on who.
Um, and going back in, where all the ships were kind of taken out, it was all just random spots in the terminus system, correct? Or in the
Mhm.
outer realm, it wasn't just centralized to one spot. You are
You're
muted.
muted.
Ha ha ha. It was all in the far rim.
Yeah, the
Mhm.
far realm. Sorry,
Yeah.
I keep saying terminus.
But we do know we did figure out where they are, or like where that large,
Yes.
or a bit, or like a smaller area to look for. Through both the
More
communicators and Nyx's mind meld embrace eternity shit.
Well, Darius was more so trying to think through what kind of weapon it could be. Could it be something that's planetary or something mobile attached to a ship that is able to do this? Basically, he was trying to figure out like what kind of weapon could this be that has been taking out ship after ship after ship after ship after ship without apparently any real pushback where only one person's gotten away. But that's neither here nor there. We have a heading, so that's something he'll ruminate on in the time in between.
There's a bit of a pause, and then
Can't help but wonder if there's a certain Aryan slavery.
A certain one, huh? Who are you thinking of?
Work nods, not really taking his eyes off of like the spot on the wall that he seems to have been staring at. Um,
I was figuring that I was going to cross paths with this hijack at some point.
You're coming in a
I,
little bit low.
I was figuring I was going to have to cross paths with this hijack. Just didn't think it was going to be so soon. Sazved.
Hmm.
Got a big grudge against me. And I'd love to toss him into an airlock, watch him float away.
Work desperately trying to be family friendly in the moment.
You just say you want to kill the guy. I mean, you said this person's a trafficker, correct?
Worq just nods.
It's. Oh yeah. It's
I've
yours.
I've foiled his proverbial schemes. Can't count as many times at this point. So if he was involved in this somehow, just to make my day worse, it wouldn't surprise me in the slightest.
Hmm. Adrana, you
possible.
got any thoughts? Sorry.
They're just looking a little bit confused and not understanding like the timeline of it. So that when they hear the question, they're just looking at Nyx to continue.
I mean, it's possible that this issue with the insurgents, that maybe that other particular thorn in Worq's side is interested. I mean, it could also not be. We don't know. What we do know is that we do have someone on board that might know more about this weapon. So, if everything's fine and good, I'd like to ask Quill to get our guest here so we can get those questions answered, if possible. We can speculate all day, but we got at least some type of source.
He's more willing now, correct? Like,
Oh, Jonas? Oh, Jonas is fine.
okay, I wasn't sure if you were gonna have to break his mind or whatever.
I mean, you can be willing for my things, and he was. Speaking of, we probably should drop him off somewhere.
You see a look of
Soon.
genuine confusion when you say "be willing to have your mind probed." Like that does not make sense to Darius whatsoever. That is the first time you've ever seen anything but a bit of jovialness or just that's the first time you've actually seen confusion. Like, he has that annoying hint of like, I know exactly what's happening here, even when it's like he just walked into a room. That's the first time you see it disappear when you say you could be willing to have your mind probed.
It's
And
actually
then he remembers that he needs to message Caddy in that moment. By the way, I left. This is me saying bye. Do not send hunters after me.
You get an immediate response that's just a skull emoji.
He accidentally sends an ad plant. He doesn't. He he sends a winky face.
Okay. Are we getting Mira in here?
Yeah, I just didn't want to rush it if other folks had something to say. But if Nyx is getting the vibe that no one wants to stay anymore, then he will ask Quill. Hey Quill, can you request that Mina, that's her name, right? Mira. Frick. I was trying to scroll up, but I couldn't find the name. Mira to meet us in the meeting room, as well as some different types of refreshments, dextro friendly and non, to the meeting room, please. Thanks.
You get a simple nod from Quill, who then disappears from the area. Not more than about 5 minutes later, Mira does show up. You see fresh clothes that seem to be casual standard on the Mirage. Her thick brown bobbed hair is a little frizzy at the moment, like it's drying, but she will walk in and stand at attention. Wanted to see me?
Yeah, we have a couple of questions. Usually I would not ask someone this quickly after something terrible, but we're kind of in a rush.
I will do what I can.
So,
That's all we ask. Please have a seat.
and Nyx will kind of agree with Adrana.
I didn't hear Maz. I'm so sorry.
Oh, they pretty much said, that's all we ask. Please have a seat.
Okay, perfect. She'll take a seat then.
Yeah. So, the leader of this insurgents, and she says that with a bit of an eye roll, mentioned something about a weapon that would be far harsher of a punishment than death. You know anything about that?
It's hard to explain something you can't see. My ship was there, and then it was gone.
Were you like it was in debris or completely gone?
Gone. The power had shut down. The oxygen was beginning to fail. I had ran to one of the escape pods, but no one was following. And then I was forced to eject. When I looked back, I saw that the ship was there, and then it was gone.
Huh. And there was no like flashes of color. Like
There was a devoid of anything.
what so this is kind of unusual, but I'm only rolling because Asari lived for a long fucking time. If Nyxeris may have heard about something similar in terms of just like things vanishing without any color, because of course we have like mass relays, things like that, but not even necessarily like a whole ship, but like things poofing out of nowhere.
Sure. Go ahead and roll whatever you think would be best. You could always make it a history if you want to just have a memory, but if
Okay.
you want to roll something different, then you could do that.
Let's see what we got here. Let's see. I think insight's better for me because I think that at least how I'm imagining it for Nyx, maybe not necessarily she's experienced this, but being around, so like I would imagine that the establishment she works at has a lot more Asari, and of course she has her own. Not so her mom, but also her mom. So just revolving around a lot of people a lot of times who usually are like yapping, whether they be customers or the people that she works with. So that's kind of like where she's going. So with it being more like oral history, though that's still going to be history.
I would say history.
All right,
I would say
that's fine. I won't lawyer it. I'm just curious because I'm not sure what else it would be. All right. Let's do a history roll. Not bad. 18.
18. You have not heard about this in a weapon type
Okay.
of mention before, but there is something far more obvious and far more both naturally occurring and naturally unknown at the same time. You know what a black hole is. This sounds exactly like a black hole. Devoid of
Oh.
color, devoid of anything, and then things disappear.
I think as soon as that dawns upon Nyx, it's not her laughing, but her just having the biggest like, "Are you kidding me right now?" They were a bit on the nose about the whole tattoo, weren't they?
Insanely so.
And just the full exasperated body language. Black holes.
Black holes.
What else is gonna make something disappear? No, nothing. Not even debris. Their tattoos are extremely on the nose. The type of technology that can just form black holes at will. You know, if you think about it, he's still killing people.
So here's the thing. I, Daryl, know that there is in fact a gun that creates black holes in Mass Effect. Does Darius know that gun? Know that weapon?
So there is something on a smaller scale like that.
Yes.
But nothing of this range? No. Nothing this large.
But just in general, he at least knows the smaller form of it. But this would entail that someone probably they jailbroke it and made it into like a actual like a ship-sized cannon that shoots black holes out.
From how memory serves, and tell me if I'm wrong, because you know so much about Mass Effect to a point that I can forget sometimes. It is an extremely rare weapon.
It is. It is not even like I think you have to beat the whole game before you get it, or I believe it might even just be DLC. But
I think it's DLC.
Yeah, the M490 Black Storm is a black hole gun that literally shoots out singularities that shoot black holes, but also certain not Mass Effect powers, but biotic powers do borderline the exact same thing. But I can't.
Right.
I believe singularity. The singularity power is creating its own black hole. So it's in my mind, it would be like one of those two things got weaponized to a greater scale to the point that it could take out ships.
Right.
Which itself is either or. It's a thing that needs to go away. No one should have that.
So back up then for Jade, because I thought it was far more rare. Because I was re-looking into it. In the Legendary Edition, you could just buy it off some guy because it's terrifying, which is fun. I would say that Nyxeris from all of the
it's
knowledge
biotics, and also biotics for sure.
Yeah, something similar, but nothing of that scale. But I would say black holes feels a lot more like correct, because this is more of a like, from my understanding, this gun is more of a
like black hole, but not actually.
It's like a black hole. It's more of like this is the allegory of what it could be. But this, from what this sounds like a complete black hole. You can roll if you'd like to know if you know the gun. You're from Omega, so I won't give you disadvantage. So I'd say that there's probably like some kind of, or not from Omega, but you've been to Omega enough to know if people told tales about it.
Me or Darius?
Darius or me?
Darius.
I'm from Omega.
Right.
Like I'm from there.
Okay.
What would you like? Well, what would you want me to roll?
History.
12. It's not my best.
No. You've heard something like it. I would say you've probably heard of like an imaginary gun, but you don't know if those really exist.
Because also, I think this also turns into like the thing of like that. Yes, in the DLC, in the legendary version, you can just kind of get it. It's still supposed to be super rare, as in most of the other big weapons, other people have it. No one has that. like it is you only have that in the game at least. So even then, I think for the world in general, for the Mass Effect world, it's still such a rarity. Uh, so this is like this is some heavy shit. God
Could
damn.
it be like an Ardagachi or whatever those Reaper flavored Asari were, something like that?
Not unless you got like thousands together and they all magically evolved further. But I just don't even think that there are enough like period out there to even do such a thing, and I highly doubt. And I say this with the utmost care. Highly doubt that they would be joining a Batarian and other species supremacist group.
Could be against their will.
That's also
Just
fair.
like our friend down there.
Oh no, I think he sort of kind of joined coercion, but not entire mind control.
There's a small huff of annoyance that maybe only Adrana would hear, and then Adrana's Omni tool beeps with credits.
At least,
Well, no, please go on.
Adrana's not talking. They're sharing that exasperated sigh of like there's more kind of intricate things that they're trying to get understanding for. They have good investigation, but I see them as someone who's like act maybe after one or two paragraphs, not a whole debrief.
I have a question for GM. On these ships, I know that when Shepard was doing things, they had science officers, but would the council have that on our ship with some science folks?
So let me see.
Because I figured by now Nyx would probably know like what departments we have on ship at the very least. Maybe not know everybody, but knows if a science department exists or not.
There is no science officer directly. Okay. You do know that I'll give this to you because it was in the like first or second episode. It was a while ago. But they did mention that there was a Solarian specter that was very science heavy and tech heavy. That was someone you could always get into contact with if you wanted to. But other than that, there's no specific one person.
Gotcha. Well, we need to figure this shit out, and I'm not an expert on black holes. I don't think that anyone here is either, but we're gonna have to find a way to get around this, or to at least hold this off if we need to even approach where they're at.
Oh, one more thing. I do apologize. You do have a weapons and demolitions expert, though, which would be Junie.
Adrana would send that to Judy for sure. Like while they're talking, just asking, pretty much in text form. I know you didn't want to come, but there's a lot of questions. I'm confused, and then just like send, little bits and information just to keep him informed.
At some point during this meeting, just silently, Darius would forward all this information on to Dread, as we are the information gathering group for him anyway, just to keep him and the council and all those people apprised of the
Shit,
fact
at this
that
point, we gotta have a group chat.
Yeah. Like, it just
Spectres and
just
cancel
occurred to me,
group
it's just
chat.
like we've been doing all of this and none of us said, oh yeah, and we send this information
Oh,
to
I
the
thought that was
people that hired us in the first place.
I'm gonna be real with you. I just thought that was implied.
I
'cause
know
we're
how
working for
evil
them.
I am. I know how evil I am as a GM, where it's just like no one said it, so it didn't happen. Depending
Fair
on what
enough.
it is. You didn't feed your pets, they died. I don't do that. I don't do that.
The only reason I would agree in this situation that I wasn't counting it is because I don't know what information you would be withholding and telling.
Fair enough.
So if you can, we can always back a little bit, and you
for
could
sure.
say this is what we told them, and we could do that next episode. But it's like this is what we told them, so they should know this already, and then we'll talk to them. You can absolutely do that, and I'm more than happy with that because that's not something we talked about. But I'm not going to say they know everything because I don't know what you want to withhold or not.
I think that's a question that we will discuss in the DMs.
Yeah.
All right. So I think there's a really solid plan for next episode.
Yeah.
Yes,
So,
indeed.
in my opinion, I think that we should cut for tonight, and we'll see you next week. Next Monday, we should be playing again. I was and still am Serenity. You can find me all over the internet as ClickClackSnac. I do cool, fun stuff. I do things. Hi. So you can go check out my things on stuff. Trying to think if there's anything. Shush. I'm trying to think if there's anything big. I know I have a game coming out next month, so keep an eye out for that. It's going to be very fun. Very on brand with what's been popular on the internet lately. I don't know if I can give much more than that because they haven't made an announcement yet. And I think, depending on weather, I'll be at Fan Expo Portland. So if you're in the Pacific Northwest and you're going there, and it doesn't snow us out this year, or ice us out this year, then I'll be there, and that's next week. Actually, wow, I got there fast. So yeah, that's me. Sparrow.
Hi, I am Sparrow. I am a co-founder of Feywild and Out. I was having a small worry that I was muted, but I'm not. I will hopefully, if things work how they should, be over at twitch.tv/therealgobshite to finally jump back into our Pathfinders game, where I'm playing a lovely monk who has not said a single word in 5 episodes. These characters have been around them for 5 episodes. They have no idea what my character's voice sounds like. So will they say something? Who knows? Tune in this time at Crosshaven. And then I stream normally at aBlackSparrow. You can find me most places at aBlackSparrow. Place that I try to be the most active is Blue Sky at aBlackSparrow.com. But don't worry, if you go to aBlackSparrow.bsky.social, there's a lovely little redirect. So, just find me, catch me there. And with that, I will turn it over to the amazing Moz.
Yo, hi y'all, I'm Moz. I am so excited we get these new developments in this episode that I'm just, my goodness, I'm here for I love this. Just everyone's beautifulness coming in and seeing the story develop. I love this. But you can find me everywhere at Mozzarelle. I have not streamed for the last couple of weeks because of the move. So the big 2025 first stream of the year will be actually this Saturday. So if you want to come and hang out with us and the Starfall crew, I missed you guys. Definitely come through. Also with the Starfall crew, we are running games again on Starcrawl RPG, and for Black History Month, we are raising money for Loveland Foundation all month, and for March, on Starcrawl playing Wanderhome with an all BIPOC table at this point, and yeah, Definitely check out either StarCrawl or my socials for any infos on that because I enjoy Wanderhome and I can't believe I'm getting to run it slash is GM-less. I'm going to say be present. I don't know how to, it's not really running it, but yes. But it'll be amazing. And I think I have other games that are coming up, but if you want to know what that is, specifics, it's usually on the socials. But handing it over to Daryl.
Hello, I'm Daryl and I play Darius Okar. We both have he, him pronouns. You can find me all over the internet, usually at Mr_Daryl Dorsey or just Daryl Dorsey. As far as things I'm doing, I have stuff coming up. I'm playing in a Vampire the Masquerade game in the next month or so, but it has not been announced yet. So I'm just gonna say I'm excited to play a Ventru because I rarely get to play. I usually run the game, which is the curse of people who are just like, I didn't get to play this game, so I'll run it, and then you just turn into a forever whatever version of that game. I'm just like, yeah, then you never get to play. So now I'm just going to be everyone's worst nightmare as a Ventru who's only been a kindred for 10 years versus everyone else who's been around for quite a bit of time. Should scheduling work out, I will actually be running a Vampire the Masquerade charity game for the benefiting those who have been affected by the fires out in LA. Hopefully, everyone's scheduling works out because it is a group that I have played 2 other charity games with, continuing the story that we've done in those other 2 games. It is an all BIPOC table, and right now it's looking like the 1st of February is probably going to be the day, but we'll see how everyone else's schedule looks like. Um, I have a lot of stuff planned to happen, but nothing is like no session zeros. So I'm just like, I've got a lot of stuff happening. I will share them on the interwebs. Keep your eye out for me mentioning it, and then I'm going to toss it over to Jade.
Hi, y'all. I'm Jade. I am one of the co-founders here at Fey Whittled Out. You can find me most places at Jade Valkyrie. Here on Twitch and on Blue Sky, it's Jade Valkyrie with a 3 at the end. Right now, I'm doing a lot of just online content as I figure out what my streaming schedule is again. So fun. So make sure that you're following me, especially on Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter, Blue Sky, Threads, all of the places where you usually yap out into the void. But yeah, that's all from me. So I will take us on over to the ending screen, but don't forget next week we'll be starting our giveaway for a copy of the Mass Effect board game that Modifius was so kind to give us. So we'll have some more details about how you can enter and also how you can get more entries. So if you do more stuff, you get more entries, aka more chances to win. So thanks so much and stick around for the raid. Bye!